Saigon is like New York City. You can find stuff to do pretty much every day of the week. My USA dollar goes a lot farther in Vietnam than it does in the US. That's the average for USA. You know, you work 10 hours a day, you go home, you're tired, you cook dinner.
Welcome to another episode of Tag Along with Chai. It's a little bit of a different one this episode because we're only talking with one person. It's a gent who pretty much lived all his life in America and recently decided to come to Ho Chi Minh City, to Vietnam, to start a new life here, to explore his roots. And he's explaining why Vietnam is such a potential country for you to live in.
I was born in Vietnam, but I've been in the USA since I was 5 years old. And I just come back here 5 months ago.
Was this your first time?
No, I came here a year ago for 1 month as an exploratory visit. And then I came back here this year to see if I can live here, taking it a month at a time, seeing how it goes.
So do you think of living here for a way longer time?
Yeah, so I think ideally what I want to do is split my time, maybe 9 months in Vietnam, 3 months in the USA. Still trying to figure it out, but yeah, I mean the cost of living is so much lower here that I probably want to stay here as long as I can just to maximize that geo arbitrage.
After such a long time, like you decided to come and check it out. What took you so long?
I was raised in the USA and all I knew was to go to college, get a job, work, and you know I was going to retire there. I had no idea. Then my dad died, and something just clicked in my head, and I'm like, you know, I need to go explore my homeland. I know zero about it, and I need to broaden my horizons and see what is out there in life. And so I figured out that my USA dollar goes a lot farther in Vietnam than it does in the US. And so that started my time of researching and trying to figure out, what should I do with the rest of my life, Should I just continue with the USA rat race, or can I do something different and be a little bit happier?
That rat race, I can imagine, is working 9 to 5, maybe 6 days a week kind of thing, not so many holidays.
Yeah, that's the average for USA. You work 10 hours a day, you go home, you're tired, you cook dinner, you take a shower, you go to bed, you wake up, you repeat. And
is that not what you do here as well?
No, I mean, like if you look around here, this is a Sunday night. People are out hanging out, and it's what, 9:30. In the USA at 9:30, I'm in bed. And these people, they're still going strong. They're still arriving. On a Sunday night, this would never happen in the USA, at least where I was from.
The one best thing that makes you stay here or makes you want to stay here, what would it be?
I would say the cost of living. I mean, it's that and the stress level. I mean, those two kind of go hand in hand, right?
Money and stress level. There's two big things in life, obviously. Is there something else that you really like of Vietnam?
Yeah, I mean, the single guys in the USA will know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, it's hard to date in the USA, especially when you're over 30. It's just hard. In Vietnam, Southeast Asia, it's much easier. It just is. I mean, they love foreigners for some reason. So that's I mean, even though I look like I'm a Vietnamese guy, I'm still considered a foreigner because they can tell by the way I look, the way I talk, my mannerisms, my posture, almost everything. So it's totally different.
Some information that you like to pass on to us that is maybe useful for us.
Yeah. So the best thing I would say is you earn US dollars or wherever you're from in the Western world, earn the money there, and then you can transfer it to here and spend it because it's called geo arbitrage, where you're taking advantage of the different currencies. So like for me, I have passive income in the USA, and then I can use those dollars to pay bills here, and my dollar goes a lot farther than it does there. So it's less. For me, it's less stress because it's easier that way.
How about the cost of living here? Do you live in an apartment or a house, or?
I live in an apartment. I looked at buying. It's kind of weird here. Like the cost of living as far as rental is very low, but purchasing is very high. So I looked at it today, and like you can rent a place for $300 a month, or you can buy it for like $300,000. So I'm like, that's way disproportionate. It's easy. I'm a finance guy. I'm analytical, and it's always about the return on investment, ROI, and the ROI doesn't make sense. It's a no-brainer for me to just rent. Especially.
Is that where you spend the $300 or?
Yeah. My rent is like $321.
And what do you get?
I get a 1-bedroom, small kitchen, my own bathroom. My door goes out to a balcony. That's shared, but it's still, I mean, nobody uses it but me. and I get free motorcycle parking, I get free internet, I get water. I gotta pay electricity, but $30 a month. So it's nothing compared to the U.S. So my total everything in my house is $400 a month.
Yeah. Hey, and Ho Chi Minh City, is it easy for you to socialize?
Yeah, I mean, I go on Facebook. I met a bunch of people from expat groups. We just went out I've been out Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then now I'm hanging out with you. So yeah, it's every night you can do something. Saigon is like New York City. You can find stuff to do pretty much every day of the week.
So I'm based in Thailand, and I'm traveling Southeast Asia basically. I see a lot of foreigner expats in Thailand that are struggling with the party scene there because they're going out every time, and now you explain that's also possible here.
Yeah, it's very possible here. I mean, I hear stories about it all the time. Pretty much everywhere you go. And I was thinking about this last night. I was at a rooftop bar, and this is like South Padre Island, where I'm from. It's spring break for college kids. I mean, basically spring break for adults. You got to learn how to party, but then you also got to be professional when you need to be. So
how do you stay sane?
How do I stay sane? For me, I don't care about party. It doesn't matter to me. I don't need a drink. A lot of people here do balloons, and I don't need to do that. I don't need to do drugs. So for me, it's just I'm a very logical person, right? I mean, what makes sense for me long term, right? Is to be healthy, to have fun, but not to be too crazy. I mean, I'm all about the long term, right? I mean, how am I going to be 10 years from now? If I party too hard, I'll be broke or dead in 10 years. What's the point, right? So that's how I operate.
In Ho Chi Minh City, is there something that is maybe not so pleasant that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, actually.
Okay.
Pollution, right? Okay. If you look around, there's a lot of traffic, motorcycles, and if you're from the West like me, then you're confused about the traffic because they go everywhere. But after a while, you learn the sequence. And when I first got here, I was scared because the traffic goes everywhere. It doesn't have the Western rules that you're used to.
Yeah.
So even crossing the street while you're walking is the same thing, So that's kind of confusing. And they don't have the same professionality as they do in the U.S. Like when I go to a bank, I expect people to know things, give me straight answers. Here, you go to 10 different banks, you get 10 different answers. You ask 10 different people, you get 10 different answers.
Wow.
You don't know what is the truth, what is not the truth. You don't know if they don't know what they're talking about, or they do know what they're talking about. You have no idea.
Okay.
So that's, for me, it's very frustrating. As a Westerner who needs to know things, I don't get that here. So that's for me, it's very frustrating.
How about pollution, you were saying?
Yeah. So like all these motorbikes, they don't have any pollution control. These cars, I don't think they go through emissions tests. Like in the U.S., every year you got to go through a test. Here, they don't.
No, okay.
And so Saigon is known as a high pollution city.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times you'll see people wearing face masks, and they don't wear it because of COVID. They're wearing it because of the pollution.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Are you wearing that as well sometimes?
I forgot mine at home, but I usually wear it. Like when I'm riding the motorcycle, I usually wear it. But if you'll notice, a lot of Westerners won't wear their masks. A lot of the Asians will everywhere they go. So I've noticed that myself. Get your ducks in a row if you want to go here long term. Your finances need to be in order. Have a plan A, B, and C. Like your banking won't work the same as it is in the U.S. where I'm from. You have to get a VPN so that it doesn't know that you're in Vietnam because it'll have red flags because you're trying to do banking in Vietnam and your bank's in the U.S. And then for money exchange, if you're a U.S. guy, Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab has an ATM card, and it doesn't have any transaction fees. And so whatever that ATM machine charges you, Charles Schwab will give you back, refund. And so, and then it's also no international exchange fees either. So I would highly recommend that. So
nice one.
And and also as a foreigner, you just got to understand that you're in their territory. And I remind myself of this all the time. I'm in their territory. I'm not going to change Vietnam. I need to adjust to Vietnam. Even though a lot of things frustrate me, I got to say, hey, you got to weigh the bad versus the good. What makes sense. Because I'm not going to change Vietnam. So either I adjust to Vietnam or I go back home.
Next episode, we will be at Ho Chi Minh Airport, past border security, to talk to some people who are leaving Vietnam. I'm gonna leave myself as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching till the very end. I cannot do this without you watching every time, commenting every time, the thumbs up. And please, if you're able to share this kind of content on your social media, on Facebook, Instagram, that will help the channel quite a lot.